Biology, Part 53. Ventilation. Water will flow over the gills whenever the water pressure in the buccal and pharyngeal cavities is greater than the water pressure in the opercular cavity. In bony fish, this pressure difference can be achieved either by the action of a positive pressure pump or by the buccal pressure pump in front of the gills, or by a negative pressure pump by the opercular suction pump. These two pumps operate at different times during the ventilation cycle, as shown in the description. During inspiration, the volume of the fornix is increased mainly by the muscular contraction, which is lower its flow. This process reduces the water pressure inside the cavity so that the water enters via the mouth. However, at exactly the same time, the operculum on each side bulges towards closing the opercular walls and greatly reducing the water pressure in the opercular cavities. These movements produce a suction source and this opercular suction pump so that the water continues to flow through the gills in spite of the reduced pressure in the pharyngeal cavity. During expiration of the mouth is closed, the floor of the fornix is rapidly raised to create a strong positive pressure. Buccal pressure pump, which drives water through the gill slits. Simultaneously, each operculum is forced inwards by muscular contractions, which also open the opercular walls and cause water to expel. The net effect of all this is to increase the efficiency of the gills by maintaining an almost continuous flow of water. Gas exchange. The detailed structure of the gills is illustrated. This shows that two sets of flattened gill, filament or primary lamelles, projecting alternatively at different angles in a V-shaped arrangement. Water passes through between the gill filaments and over the numerous secondary lamellae, where gas exchange takes place. The total surface area of the secondary lamellae is from one species of a fish to another, being the greatest in the largest and the most active species. Each lamella is well supplied with the blood capillaries arising from different branchial arteries within the gills. The oxygen diffuses in the bloodstream of the fish and combines with hemoglobin to form a loose compound called oxyhemoglobin. While the oxygenated blood containing oxyhemoglobin is then collected in afferent branchial artery and eventually passes to main blood vessel, the dorsal aorta, for distribution of the body tissues. Deoxygenated blood returns to the heart and then passes again to the gills. This pattern of blood flow is characterized and is characteristics of a single circulation, as discussed further over here. The most important observation is that blood flows in the capillaries of the secondary lamellae is always opposite in direction of the flow of the water passing over the surface. This situation is called counterflow. Then the alternative arrangement promotes a more efficient exchange of the gases than the alternative arrangement, and called parallel flow, where the blood and the water flow in the same direction. You can easily understand why counterflow is importantly considering the model systems shown in the figure. In both systems, heat transfers from water flowing into a pipe. Water in the other depends on the magnitude of the temperature differences between them. In the case of parallel flow, the heat transfer is rapid at first. However, farther along the pipes, the hot water has cooled down while the cold water is warmer. As a result, heat transfer becomes progressively slower and finally stops when the temperature of the water in the two pipes is the same. Note that at this point, the fraction of available heat energy has been transferred across one pipe to the other. In counterflow system, the cold water runs alongside progressively the hot water, while the hot water counters progressively colder water.